Previously on Pax Americana. With the loss of the USS Rubicon, the public has demanded to know more about the loss of all 218 crew members. Members of the crew's family have begun to speak out and tell their story about those lost in the name of exploration. The military has been less than forthcoming, with Maine describing it as a deliberate cover-up. Officially, the military states that an explosion caused by a reactor failure destroyed the ship while it was surveying the system of 109 Aquarii. The Office of Budget Accountability has stated that if humanity does not begin increasing mineral exploitation efforts or maintaining current spending, there will be an economic recession due to shortages of key minerals used in many manufacturing projects. Next up on Pax Americana. The President has announced a successful operation by naval personnel to avenge the Rubicon. The USS Galactica was given the honour. The Navy has reported a successful operation, with 4 alien warships destroyed and the remaining vessels fleeing. It is also believed that 12 crew members from the USS Oman were killed during the operation, and their loved ones have been informed. The Martian polar ice caps have begun to melt thanks to the terraforming program initiated 5 years ago. The governor of Mars held up the first cup of liquid water obtained from the planet and promised that soon the red planet will become a second Earth. Hello and welcome back to episode number 7 of the United Terran Nations Aurora 4X Pax Americana. If you are enjoying the content, do remember to like, comment and subscribe. So what are we going to be doing in today's episode? Well, the priority is going to be how the hell will we fund all our ambitious construction projects? And as we can see on screen, we're going to begin to look at our mineral situation. I've identified a few areas in which we will try and improve this. Number 1 is going to be surface mining, or based on already expanding installations and areas. That means New Eden, Horatio, Terra Nova, 61 Cygni, Mercury, Europa, all our facility mining colonies. We need to expand these capabilities, expand them out, and start funding our resources. The second thing is going to be rich asteroids. I've identified a few rich asteroids in nearby systems, and these asteroids are going to be extremely important to get high accessibility minerals quickly into the economy to ensure that we are capable of producing whatever we need. Our main current stifling to our production efforts is both corundium, sorium, and galacite. If we can get all of these resources, we'll be able to continue our expansion projects. And you may be asking yourself, well, why are they important? Galacite gets us our engines, it gets us, which is the most important part, and it helps with missile production and maintenance supply production. Corundium allows us to build mines at all, and sorium, without sorium we can't build missiles, as all missiles come with a bit of sorium inside as the fuel. As you can see on screen, these are the areas we're going to be expanding out to. That includes all the way up north towards Eve Lacerte, all the way to the east towards Beta Carinae, and to the south near 109 Aquarii. These areas are going to be important to expand, and that's where we're going to be eventually focusing ourselves to expand outwards once we've finished exploiting our initial resources. Again, Aurora is about snowballing. If we can start mining more resources now, that means we'll mine more resources later. And our current kind of roadblock to that is less so about the technology or population. It's about sending that population to places. If we can get population to areas and we can get resources to areas, we can actually start exploiting that. And we've really started to grow our frontier colonists as we hit 1990s. So that means Horatio, that means Terra Nova, and that means New Eden, all hitting about 6 million people-ish. We also are needing to explore outwards still, as we have our new ships now being retrofitted to the Aegean Block 2s. These are going to be extremely important so that we can actually continue our exploration to find new resource deposits, as we still have plenty of areas we haven't gone to yet that are relatively close to salt. So some really great things that we can potentially get there. The Block 2, of course, uses 16 S8 missiles, and speaking of, we are going to need to be upgrading both the S8 and the S4s relatively soon, as in about 2 years we're going to get access to ion drive technology, which is going to be a big revolution for our Navy, and it's going to require a lot of improvements. I've costed in the amount that it will be for our naval development programs as well as construction programs, and it's going to be between 50,000 and 100,000 build points to build that many destroyers, that many frigates, that many carriers. It's all going to cost a hell of a lot of money and build points, and it's something where we're going to need to be prepared for that. Another thing that has happened as we enter the 1990s is we finally got our first planetary defense capability ready to go. That means our first surface-to-orbit weapons. These weapons are going to be extremely vital, as they will be able to be deployed immediately to areas and provide point defense at low cost on the ground with a garrison that will ensure defense of people living in system. And they should be pretty effective at their job. They'll also give safe harbor for ships in orbit of the planet, as the weapons can protect them. And so as you can see here, I'm just setting up everything needed for that to work and ensure that it's all going according to plan. We've got the Kalinskis, and we've also got the basically point defense. Then we've got anti-ship weapons. Again, we haven't seen any enemy ships with missiles except for the ones in Banana Star. And so, again, a lot of our plans are kind of theoretical in terms of how much point defense we will need. And we won't really know until we come up, in direct competition. And I only plan to engage that kind of Bernard Star force once we have all of our fleet carriers. There were a lot of issues, though, with our plans. And that comes, again, logistically and mineral-wise. One fleet carrier, that's 7 million litres of fuel for 20 billion kilometers of range. That's a lot of fuel that we're going to need to be able to actually keep these vehicles working and not just stuck at port constantly. That means we need to expand our fuel across the entire galaxy, fuel production, and we also need to expand mineral production elsewhere. And as we can see here, Planetary Defense Command's getting trained up. So I previously talked about in some of the other episodes about how we're kind of following that kind of US military structure and capability and all this stuff. And that's kind of where our military is going. But in terms of actual logistics and base finding, we're doing more what I would akin to think about as the Royal Navy in the 19th century. Where we have lots of logistic spaces all over the place, and those logistic spaces will allow us to expand outwards, and we don't need super long-range ships to be able to keep going. Again, fuel is a lot of dead weight. If we can avoid that dead weight, it helps. However, fuel is also really, really important. And as you can see here, we are also researching a plethora of things. So with our maximum engine power modifier, we'll be able to get missiles, improve missiles, improve our ships, improve our fighters. Then we're going to have ion drives. We're also researching additional missile agility. That will improve our missile hit rate. Specifically, that's going to be really important for the planned anti-missile defense systems we're going to install on our new next generation of cruisers, next generation of carriers, who are going to really need that defensive capability, potentially, against incoming enemy missiles. We also have more FAAs finishing up here, and I come into this kind of dilemma where we're building these FAAs, but I realize they're going to get outdated eventually, right? I mean, it's obvious, but before we can think about that, we've got another situation here in 109 Aquarii, and I immediately ordered the Danube to get the hell out of there. We've spotted the largest fleet ever from these aliens, and they seem to have just appeared. Again, I don't know why they have such an interest in 109 Aquarii, but it's something significant. Luckily, they apparently are not here for the Danube. The Danube, while it has missiles on it, it has 16 missiles, it wouldn't be able to destroy those ships. It might be able to disable a single enemy ship or destroy it, but otherwise it's just going to have to retreat. And I order, I believe, the Galactica immediately to go and provide assistance. Now, unfortunately, I should have probably ordered more, and we'll find it out in a little bit. But the Galactica is going to go and make sure that if they are still remaining there, we will destroy them and stop them from coming. Another big thing that we actually did see, though, from those ships was the fact that there was a large 100,000-ton commercial vessel which we've never seen before. This could be a transport, it could be some kind of miner or salvager. We don't know. But based on the fact that the wreck has disappeared, we can probably presume it is a salvage vessel. And so we're going to enter combat here as the Galactica is going to move in and prepare to fight. Very, very importantly, of course. Hello, and we are in combat. UTS Galactica is ready to go. And we've got a ship contact weighing in or massing in at 108,000 tons. We're just at the edge of contact. It's currently at 0 kilometers per second. The Danube luckily got away there. So first thing that we're going to immediately do is Galactica is going to hold its current position. We're going to then launch a single spaceborne early warning craft towards the target. And we're going to laze the target, figure out what is exactly going to happen with it. So we're going to move that to location. And I'm going to sortie the fighter wing when we have a better picture of what we're dealing with. Again, we don't have too many fighters available to us. Alright, so we've got a Far Reach, we've got a Shayu, and we've got a Quarian. We can probably presume that the larger vessel is some kind of commercial ship. Likely nothing that we need to be too worried about. We're going to halt the the early warning craft immediately, so we're going to have that hold. And we're going to launch both strike wings. The plan is we're going to hit the Shayu class. I want to determine their capability. Now, on board the Galactica, we have capacity for another few missile runs, if we need to. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to attempt to strike this as best we can. We may need to call in additional reinforcement, and in fact, I'm going to do so based on the numbers of ships. So we're going to have the Columbia come as well. I'll take 33 days to arrive, so that's quite a bit of time. Okay, now, Strike Wing 7, detach. Strike Wing 8, detach. And we are going to have Strike Wing 8 follow 7. And Strike Wing 8, we are going to have enter sub. We're going to have you enter sub as full fleet. And we're going to have you head towards contacts, bullet contacts. Okay, one of the Quarions has detached and is heading towards our early warning craft. It appears it's going to attempt to intercept it. So we're going to have the early warning craft begin evasive maneuvers and hold around the contact. So we're going to follow minimum distance of 10 million kilometers. So follow contact, and we will blast that out of the sky. Okay, it looks like they are around, they're starting to move away now. They're sitting at around 1,433 kilometers per second. Naval Strike Wing 7, along with Naval Strike Group 8 and Naval Strike Wing 8 are on the way. Early warning is lasing the target ahead of, and we're getting updated information about the enemy as they do appear. Okay, they have, yeah, again, I don't know why that other vessel has split up, but we're going to continue to chase her. Okay, that Quarion is again continuing to cause us some issues, but we should be able to destroy it here, which is going to be the plan. So what we do know is a Quarion can take probably about 24 missiles. We're going to then order that Naval Strike Wing 8 open fire, so that would be 32 missiles. So yeah, 16, 8, 16, 24, 32. So we're going to fire 32 missiles at the target. Strike Wing 8 has go for firing. Quarion 003 is target. Sync fire on fleet. Open fire at will. Assign fleet. Assign to fleet. We're going to have you actually ceasefire. Ceasefire. Assign fleet. Open fire. Assign subfleet. Missiles are away. Here they come. Ceasefire with current fleet. Missiles are going ahead. Ship is attempting to retreat. 18 nuclear detonations. New target speed is maintaining. However, that was some significant damage caused. It does appear to be limping away. We are going to go in and prepare to strike the main group. We're about, how far are we? We're about 1.4 million kilometers away. They will strike wing 7. You're going to open up all launchers. You're going to target. Do we want to go for the large ship? I don't think so. It's got a commercial signature on it. We have 2 Sheiyu class vessels as well. We're going to go ahead and hit one of those Sheiyus. See what we can do about it. Sign fleet. Sync fire on. Yep. Open fire fleet. Sign fleet. Missiles away. Ceasefire. And then we're going to recall the strike wing back to the ship. In the meantime, I'm going to order the Galactic group to begin heading directly towards the contacts. We want to keep chasing them as long as we can. These are the same people that killed the Rubicon. We're not going to allow them to get away. Missiles are away. Let's see how effective. There's a lot more ships here than previously. 10 nuclear detonations. One of the Sheiyus has been disabled, it looks like. Speed has dropped to 0 kilometers per second. They managed to shoot down 19 of the missiles, but we scored 10 penetrating hits. It appears the armor on that class of ship is not exactly very capable, and that ship has been left behind. They're still moving away at 1,433 kilometers per second, and we're going to continue to chase target. I need CVL, I need the Galactica to continue to chase, and we still have our early warning craft giving us information if the enemy does attempt to move away, which is very, very important. So we still have our early warning craft there, keeping track of what's going on. Okay, that Quarion is causing us some issues, so let us go ahead and let's rearm. Attach Strike Wing 8. We're going to land on the Galactica as a subfleet. Or as a squadron, my bad. Specify my ship as squadron. Let's specify my ship as a squadron. And get them rearmed. That's going to take some time. It's going to take probably a few hours to get them rearmed and ready to go. I'm going to hit that Quarion again. Okay, what's the status on arming the strike wings? Still not good. What ordnance do we have on here? We have SIM 43 or 4As. We need to change our loadout on these to use the 4A because they are loaded for the 4B. So we're going to go ahead and say, I want you to use the 4A. I want you to copy this to fleet. And use that, and we'll see how long that takes to prepare itself. Contact re-established for the ships. Again, that Sheiyu class has been disabled. We're going to send some destroyers to go destroy that. Okay, do we have missiles ready to go? It looks like we do. We have good missiles for all ships. Ammunition of the Galactica is now out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to order Strike Wing 7 to deploy, and we're going to order Strike Wing 8 to deploy. Okay, Strike Wing 8, we're going to have you join a subfleet for Strike Wing 7. And we're going to have Strike Wing 7 head towards contacts. We're going to head towards the Quarion that's causing us some problems. Now, the issue is I'm not sure we're going to have enough ordnance to be able to destroy all enemy ships here. However, if we can disable those Sheiyus, maybe we can get something through. Because based on that information, looking at the Lalanin class, if we look at the Sheiyu, we believe that it has weapons that are likely doing the main point defense based on what we've observed. All right, Naval Strike Wing is heading in. Yeah, that Sheiyu got disabled pretty hard, and most of the missiles actually got shot down on that attack. If we had boarding capability, that'd be really nicer. Okay, we're continuing to follow. Quarion is running away. Naval Strike Wing 7 and 8. Naval Squadron 4 is heading in. That far-reach class, I want that. I want that ship destroyed. Alright, we're now within range of the main ships. We could go ahead and hit them, or we could try and hit the Quarion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order a strike on the Quarion because it's going that fast. I'm going to order only half of the ships to fire on Quarion 0, what is it, 003? 003, copy that. Assign fleet, and I want open fire. I want open fire on 8. We're going to fire 16 missiles at the Quarion here. 16 missiles away. Ceasefire. Missiles should be going in. Oh, we fired at the wrong target. We're actually going to fire them at the far reach, so that was a waste. Yeah, they all got shot down. However, good hits on the Quarion. It's been disabled. Alright, we're going to change our attention now towards the enemy ships to our about. Follow the far reach and get ready to unload ordnance. We're heading towards. So, Sheiyu class is going to be priority. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we are going to have Strike Wing prepare missiles. Okay, so how many missiles do we actually have available here? Okay, they've already fired off their tubes. Everything's good. How many missiles do we have? 47. Okay, we're going to have Strike Wing 8 fire on Sheiyu 002, assigned subfleet. We're going to have the primary Strike Wing, we're going to have them fire on one of the Quarions. So we're going to go ahead and say, probably Quarion number 7. We're going to try and hit Quarion number 7. Assign fleet. We're going to then go over here, make sure that they've set up to Shouyu 2. And we're going to hit assign fleet. Or assign subfleet. I'm going to hit open fire fleet. All missiles fire. Missile launch. And ceasefire. We're going to head straight back to the carrier strike group immediately. Okay, missiles coming in. Okay, what we got then? We caused... What we caused? 24 nuclear detonations, 11 penetrating hits on one of the Sheiyus. It appears that the Sheiyu has lost its cloaking device, or whatever it's using to obscure its vision, and has been somewhat disabled. The Quarion has also taken quite a lot of armor damage. Okay, we now need to make a choice. I'm going to have UTS Galactica hold its position. And I'm going to order the Canada-class destroyers to take hold. Well, they're the only weapons we have remaining. We're learning a lot here about the fact that we need a lot more weapons than I previously envisioned. Okay, we're going to follow that class at 100,000 kilometers. 100,000 kilometers. And I want UTS Galactica to ready the weapons. So we're going to go ahead and load up the ultraviolet laser. Time fleet. I'm going to go get ready to hit that. And we're gonna have these guys go in. So yeah, follow 100,000 kilometers and finish these ships off. We still got the early warning craft giving us intel about their movements. They ship contact. We need to get within about 100,000 kilometers before we can really start firing off the weapons. Okay, fire all weapons at that ship. I'll assure you. Time fleet, open fire fleet. We should be able to get in closer here, I think. Contact, sure you. Go in, closer, follow. Enemy destroyed. Good kill. Good kill. from our destroyers. Alright, destroyers, we're going to continue to have you head towards contact, follow up to here. 3.8. And we need to have you ceasefire, of course, otherwise there's going to be a bit of a slowdown. Ceasefire. Okay, we're heading this way. We're going to blow that Quarion out of the sky, and then we're going to continue on and attempt to engage some of these other ships. Which might be a bit difficult to do, but I'm not sure on the range capability on those vessels. Alright, we're going in. We need the, what you call it, the Columbia. I should have sent 2 carriers. If I sent 2 carriers here, I think we would have absolutely slaughtered them. But the fact that I didn't send, like, with the additional ordnance capability either, is kind of a mistake on my part. Alright. Ooh, we actually suffered some hits there, because I time warped incorrectly. Okay, fire, 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 fire. We suffered armored hits. I want you firing now. Open fire, assign fleet, fire. 2 penetrating hits. Enemy ship destroyed. Damage report. We took armored damage, but the Canada is fine. They did not get any penetrations. So we will continue on the mission. Head towards the Far Reach class. Again, we're going in. We are out of missiles on our carrier group. Again, this is a shortfall which we're going to have to remedy in the future. Ceasefire on the fleet. Head towards targets. Re-establish contact. And we're continuing to chase. Now, the good thing is that they are significantly slower than any of the other ships we previously faced. Okay, 5 minutes to go. Well, we're going to do 5-minute increments at a time. We know that Shoyu is hurting. We also know one of the Quarions took a lot of armor bruises. My issue is going to be, of course, ranging, because they're going to start opening up with those weapons they have. So, contact. I want you to follow contact at 110,000 kilometers. We're going to see what the extent of that capability is. We're not sure how effective their weapon systems are. We know that the Quarion has a railgun. We don't know the range on that railgun. We know that it can fire 4 shots and it does 4 damage per shot, which is pretty significant. But we are chasing. If we start coming under fire before we get within our range, yeah, we suffered significant hits there within, what's that? We're about 100,000 kilometers away. Recent observation Quarion class has increased. The Canada class took some significant hits there. Armor is very much hurting. I'm going to order the Canada to detach, head back towards the Galactica. I'm going to have the rest of the ships begin opening fire. Fire on Quarion 007. Why can't we, oh yeah. Quarion 007. Assign fleet, open fire fleet. We scored a hit. Canada is pulling away. Okay, 35 hits scored. They have abandoned, it appears, they have abandoned the Far Reach class, which seems to be their prize, or their protected duty. We're going to open fire then onto the Shoyu. Open fire, fire control, assign fleet. Yeah, they are pulling away. They've just completely abandoned the their escort. So we're going to keep hitting that as much as we can. We scored another penetrating hit there. Okay, with them pulling away, I'm going to close the distance. They suppose that they surprisingly have decided that they cannot fight while tied to that ship. We're going to follow the Far Reach in at about 50,000 kilometers. So we're going to close that distance in, and then we're going to start hurting them. Okay, 2 penetrating hits, shots 1. Overall, pretty good hit chances there. We're pretty good training on this on the Galacticas, or on these crews there. The Oman and the Rhodesia. 2 more penetrating hits on the Shayu. Once the Shayu's down, we should be able to destroy the other ship pretty easily. We suffered 15 penetrating hits on that. Ooh, that's a magazine explosion, strength 0. There was nothing in there. Okay, I need to be very, very careful about this. We just took significant component hits. We've suffered naval casualties. I didn't realize they had capability left on that vessel. Okay, we're going to pull away to 60,000 kilometers immediately. Pull away, pull away, pull away. Penetrating hits suffered. We lost one of the EM sensors on the vessel. Okay, we're continuing to hit the ship. Enemy ship destroyed. Damage report for the Oman. What's the crew situation? Crew morale. Crew casualties. We've lost 12 sailors. Well, naval personnel. In terms of damage control, no significant damage to operation of ship. Biggest issue is going to be those fuel tanks. Fuel has dropped quite significantly on the Rhodesia, however, it's still operational. The magazine for the anti-missile missiles has gone because, well, it's not needed anymore. Luckily, there were no actual missiles in that magazine, otherwise that would have caused a secondary explosion and blown the ship to pieces. Alright, follow the Far Reach immediately. At all costs, we are going to kill that son of a bitch. We're not letting whatever the hell it is get away. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why it's here, but it's large enough to be a prize worthy of killing. And we want revenge for those hits and those dead sailors. Okay, we are close in. It's safe to say they don't have weapon systems. Open fire on the Far Reach class. Assign fleet. Open fire. Assign fleet. Open fire. We hit. Looks like they don't have armor capability either. We've got 100% hit rate. Are we not firing both weapons? Assign fleet. Did we lose a reactor capability? No. No, we just lost the EM sensor. We still should have ability to fire elsewhere. Well, we're doing damage slowly, and the other ships, I'm going to let those ships escape. We don't have the capability to kill them, and to be honest, killing this ship is a significant prize considering the first naval personnel was, fought in the first battle, the Battle of 109 Aquarii. They fell on the UTS Oman. Sad to say. Okay, we're going to keep paying. Why is the Rhodesia the only one? Again, is the Oman seriously in such a state? What is your ship combat log looking like? 4 power. Do you have your reactor capable? Fuel storage, armament, missile launcher. Oh, your reactor is knocked down. That is the highest priority that our reactor needs to get online. So it can't fire its weapon because there's no power to fire the weapon, which means that the Rhodesia is the only ship that can actually do damage here. So we're going to have it slowly begin hitting. Can't you speed this up? Start firing everything. Fire all of the Dorse weapons. We can fire those at close range and start really mincing it up. There we go. That's what we like to see. Heavy damage. 12 penetrating hits, hit all over the armor. Enemy ship destroyed. That's the 100,000 ton vessel destroyed there. Okay, bring the Oman and the Rhodesia home. We're going to have to hand out some medals after this, that's for sure. Alright, head towards the Galactica and join the fleet. And I want the Canada also to join the Galactica as well. What's the status on the Strike Wing? They look good. We're going to have them land on the carrier. And we're going to start heading out of the system. 12 losses. We destroyed 3 enemy vessels. And we forced a retreat from our opponents. Where is my early warning craft? Early warning craft is there. We need to get that back into the carrier as well. And for any future expeditions to 109 Quarry, we are going to mandate that we send a carrier group along with the exploration ships to provide in-system defensive purposes, because they seem to really like this system for some reason. Okay, land on the specified mothership. And we need to ceasefire, of course. Ceasefire. But we've forced the route. They are cowards. Cowards, I tell you. So we're going to head back, and we're going to try and sort ourselves out. Okay, it looks like we managed to repair that fission reactor on the one of the Oman, so it's now good. And that's where we're going to leave off the live battle commentary, and I'll see you guys in, well, the rest of the episode. Finished up, we have succeeded in our primary mission. However, we weren't able to destroy every last vessel. Still pretty happy with it though, and I ordered the Galactica immediately home. These are the first actual naval personnel we've lost in combat on the Destroyer 14 UTS Open Man, and the Canada also suffered damage. They'll need to return home, and we'll need to get that armor repaired in the shipyard. But yeah, it proved the point that carriers were able to project force quickly and deploy it in significant numbers to deal with enemy threats. But it also showed that our light carriers are not capable of providing sufficient ordnance capability at target in their current iteration. Enemy ships just number too much, and we need far more missile capability to achieve our aims. Right? We need more missiles, more ordnance, and that's hopefully what the new fighter, the FX, or what is going to probably be called the F-12, is going to be needed for. I don't know why they're so interested in one another query as well. It's very odd. But we are continuing to expand out our planetary interception systems, our planetary defense commands, and all of that great stuff. And that will, again, we're going to be deploying those to all of our current colonies. And because of the issue in the system of one another query, I'm going to dispatch, I believe it's the Columbia or the Columbus, to the system to be on permanent rotation duty, at least for a year or so. And this will determine if any new ships come through. And in the meantime, with that protection, we're going to obviously begin exploration efforts of the system as well. But here we go. Here's the Planetary Defense Command. This is what it will be made up of. As 32 of the planetary protection system. So those are the not point defense, are laser weapons, and then the 6 other weapons. Those are the anti-missile weapons, which we have on the ground, I do believe. And so we're going to start moving those around. They also come with those 4 infantry battalions and the artillery battalion. And so we're going to send that to New Eden Colony for defensive purposes. Again, we have not seen significant enemy forces in those areas, except for single probing attacks. We also have some maintenance issues that I have to deal with, and we have begun moving mines to the Schwintz Group, to rich mineral asteroids, and all these other areas that are, of course, very, very important to really start exploiting mineral capability from there. And as we enter 1991, we get, we're nearly only 9 years away from our primary goal of getting the first fleet carrier out by the year 2000. We're beginning to expand, though, our construction efforts, and research is going really, really well. We're going to have missile agility done soon. We're going to have our jump drive done in 2 years, and we're going to have our maximum engine power modifier done in about 6, with the ion drive technology done in about 1.5 years. I also decided, okay, we're going to need a salvager class, because the enemy ships are wrecking, and I would like to retain the technology, right? It makes sense, we have come up against an alien threat that has technology that is more capable than ourselves, and we want to figure out that technology and understand it, and potentially use that ourselves to develop our own capability. And as you can see here, the UTS Columbia has finished its job. It's begun deployment there. That again has a carrier, air wing, and 3 destroyers attached to it that are capable of providing immediate defensive fire and defensive capability as needed. Unfortunately, our checkpoint was having some issues, and that's because I didn't set it up correctly in the last episode. So we are going to have to go ahead and make sure that's all sorted out. These checkpoints are going to be really vital again to protect our inbound and outbound traffic and ensure that everything is going okay. I think in the next following episodes, the episode after the next episode, we're going to focus on primarily colonization, and that means we're going to try and colonize William Quarry. It's going to be trying to colonize all these other areas and just get our flag down and keep our exploration efforts up, keep that tempo up as we continue to expand outwards. I think we've really focused on our construction, our military construction, but at the end of the day, the only way we're going to be able to fund that construction is going to be through expanding out our commercial industrial assets. And so I think we need to focus more on building commercial shipping to really extend out our capability than otherwise. And part of that is going to be these maintenance bases, is going to be these fighter bases that are really, really important to ensure that we have protection, because we can't operate large commercial ventures if we don't have that, right? And as you can see here, I'm just, again, sorting out some of these the issues with the checkpoint. But the FAA, I have considered what to do with the vessel or the ship or the fighter. Again, we have nearly 200 of them going to be in service. That's a lot of fighters in service. And we're going to need to either scrap them or just keep them in service for longer. Now, the good thing is missiles will, of course, improve, right? We will get better missile technology, and those will be able to be outfitted correctly. The issue is that the fighters will fall behind in terms of missile loadout, right? So we have size 8 missiles and then size 3 missiles on the next generation fighter. So we have 5 missiles. So we have a firepower increase of 25%. However, over the last generation of fighters. However, the current generation fighters won't be able to take advantage of that. And so that's why what we're likely going to do is refit the FAA to the F8B, and the F8B is going to be a refit version using current generation technology, likely, or current generation technology that is going to improve the capacity. We're probably not going to change out the engine. We're probably just going to power boost the engine and shrink it. So we're going to miniaturize the engine, and then we're going to put additional firepower on the ship, on the fighter, but it's going to remain in service. And what we'll have is we'll have a very high rate shipyard that will just refit, just keep refitting fighters as best as we can. And that will be really, really vital to keep those in service. So we're probably going to make an F8B based on how successful the FAA's been, and we'll have to look at how we can exactly improve the capacity, because the way I'm seeing our build-up, where I'm seeing our capacity in terms of capability, is that more missiles are more vital than speed. Our enemy ships has been at relatively low speeds, and that means that our focus on speed for our missile fighters may be a bit misplaced. And so that's why we haven't increased our speed on the next generation of fighters and only increased ordnance capability with the weight or the mass savings of having a new engine technology. And so that's probably going to be our focus. So as you can see on screen, what I was doing there is I'm checking the terraforming progress on Mars. We're actually really, really close on that in terms of heating it up to a good temperature. I want to get to about minimum temperature of 0 degrees on Mars. I want to get to a temperate forest. And we've also begun actually shipping over a lot of these resources to some of these automated mining outposts and automated areas. They're really, really vital. So that'd be the Schwintz group. That would be some of these CMCs, and we've also obviously got the 61 Cygni A1 transporting a lot of minerals over as well. The first mines have also arrived at a rich mineral asteroid DBVSC. The reason I call it a DBVSC is because uranium, boron, nitrendorite, thorium, and corundium, or corbamite. And that kind of indicates to me, okay, these are the resources on that asteroid, and that's the priority of what we're going to be needing. We've also actually begun shipping over the first orbital terraformers to the colony of Terra Nova. Those terraformers are very, very important because they will begin slowly heating the planet up. It's going to be very, very slow because there's not many of them, and the planet is nearly double the size of Earth. This does affect our terraforming progress quite significantly. We are also getting our colony ships ready to go. I believe we'll get them moving over stuff eventually. And we're continuing our refit to the Block 2 Aegean class vessel. We are going to need to seek eventual replacement for the Explosion class ships, but for now they serve their purpose. They're completely fine, and so we're going to keep them in service at least for now. if another one of them blows up, we probably are going to have to replace them. And future exploration class vessels are going to probably either have a fighter wing on them, or they're going to have VLS tubes. Essentially, they're going to have missile systems locked in, much more capable missile systems able to defend themselves against incoming threats, as well as probe-fired launchers. And something that I've probably also been neglecting is our fuel consumption capacity. That's something that I do tend to neglect. So power and propulsion technology is just so vital because everything runs on it. But I think that's where we'll leave the episode off. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.